a hearing now for May 13th, but we had an opportunity to sit down with Ashley Knarr, managing partner at the Button law firm that actually focuses on daycare abuse. Take a listen. Ashley, thank you so much for coming on. It's good to see you. I guess the best place to start is, since we haven't really spoken about it, overall thoughts on this case. I mean, how often do we see something like this, and particularly in your profession?
Well, thank you for having me, Jesse. First and foremost, as soon as I heard about this case, shock. Absolute shock. What happened here is every working parent's worst nightmare, because parents have the right to expect that when they put their kids in daycare, they will be kept safe, nurtured, and most importantly, they will never be subjected to this type of abuse. And I mean, the court records in this case show that the prosecutor's office has evidence of months of abuse by these caregivers against what they identify as potentially 10 different children, dating back as far as October of 2023, months before these even ever came to light. Now, assuming that those court records are accurately reflecting that timeline and the shocking amount of children that were impacted by this, what we have here is a classic case of a daycare hiring bad caregivers, failing to train them on how to handle children, and most obviously a daycare continuously failing to supervise their employees. It's a systematic failure of this daycare and allowing this to happen to kids that they were hired to keep safe.
There wouldn't be a case here, though, if we didn't have surveillance footage. Would that be fair to say? I mean, first of all, you're dealing with victims who can't speak for themselves, right? And you're also, that footage is the strongest piece of evidence you would have at a case. I mean, if you didn't have the surveillance footage, would we be even talking about this?
Jesse, it is frightening to imagine what else could have happened here if there wasn't footage. Surveillance cameras are the best thing to happen to child safety in daycares. They protect the children, and in this case, they hold the daycare accountable when they endanger a child. And we always recommend to parents that they only use daycares with surveillance footage in all classrooms all the time. Daycares without footage make it much more difficult to prove exactly what happened to a child and why. And that's especially true when they try to avoid responsibility with a cover-up, like lying or blaming something else for what caused the injuries. And what's scary is, despite this daycare having surveillance cameras, we know from the case records that when the parents came to this daycare asking why their kid had bruising on their lower half of their body, the daycare tried blaming it on something else. And without footage, how could you go back and verify the truth? It's truly scary what could have been overlooked and missed and potentially still putting kids in danger to this day.